So hi, this is Mountain Boys. Just a quick tips and tricks this week here on the channel. And that is when you're tying with synthetic dubbings, sometimes you won't always get the color, the consistency, or the texture you want out of a single dubbing. So for instance here on this, pretty simple basic pheasant tail, if you weren't going to use regular peacock herl, you could go for the synthetic peacock bronze here by Metz. Thing is, this stuff is notoriously hard to noodle. But what you can do is get a pinch of it here, and these fibers are really long, and they'll put out a lot of, I hesitate to say guard hairs, but they'll put out a lot of bits on there, and it'll turn out just bushier than you want. So you can literally just put it in your hand, chop it up a little bit, make it a little smaller, make it a little finer. But when you do that, it makes it even harder to noodle this synthetic peacock. So what I'll do sometimes is I'll grab my box of superfine dubbing here, and I'll grab a pinch of the olive right there, and I'll just go ahead and maybe a little bit more. I'll just go ahead and mix that in with the other peacock dubbing there, and I get the benefits of the superfine dubbing, yet I still get that nice shiny and texture and everything of the synthetic peacock. So I am going to use a dab of dubbing wax here on my thumb and forefinger here, and I'll go ahead and, whoa, I'll lose my fly out of my vise. Holy crap. Fly down. Ow! Fly down. Hooks are sharp. I think I'm going to leave this in because that'll illustrate another point I want to make here in a minute. Lock that back in the vise. There we go. So when I got to this step, I knew I was going to be messing around a little bit and everything else. So I went ahead and just threw a half hitch over my fly right there at that step. So that way, if anything went wrong, it wouldn't completely unravel on me. So there you go. I saved myself. There's another tip and trick. Just every once in a while, if you can or if you need to, throw in a half hitch. So I'm going to make my dubbing noodle down here. And you can see it went on super easy like that super fine dry fly dubbing does. But I also have a little bit more of that texture and the shiny color of the peacock. So let's go ahead and dub this thorax here. And this might end up being overdubbed just a tad. I probably got a little too much dubbing on there. Let's take some of that off. Twist that back around. So there you go. There is a mixed dubbing thorax here on this pheasant tail, and I think it looks pretty sharp, and it went on a lot easier, and that just works for you. And it's pretty much any flies too. Another dubbing that I tend to do this a lot with, and let me grab it here for a second. Crash, crash, bang, bang. Another dubbing that I do this a lot with is the ice dubbing. So I find that I'd have to use a lot of dubbing wax to get a good noodle on here, and then it goes on super thick, and it just splays out everywhere. And sometimes at the end you have to come back and manicure your fly because the dubbing was just a little bit too robust. So sometimes I do the same thing with the ice dubbing here. I'll just chop it up a little bit, and then I'll kind of match the color in my superfine and just go to town that way. So anyway, I hope you find that useful. I hope that helps. I need to be a little bit better about putting a few more tips and tricks like that as little standalone videos here on the channel. I tend to throw them in my tying videos as I'm tying, but I think a nice standalone video for little tips and tricks like this could help people out. So this is Mountain Boys, and I'll see you next time.